Many people throughout the world suffer from allergies. These range from simple irritants like pet dander or pollen to more serious allergies like nuts or shellfish. One particular food allergy that's been identified and come to the forefront in recent years is gluten. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, rye, and barley, which can lead to a condition called celiac disease. Studies show that 1 in every 133 people suffers from this condition, and 97% of the people go undiagnosed. My special guest today knows all about celiac disease and gluten-free diets. I'd like to welcome Vernon Ferguson to the show. Vernon, great to have you here today, buddy.
Great to be here, Steve.
All right. We are very fortunate to have Vernon work for us. He runs our Nature's Market at the Kroger at Tanglewood Mall. And not only are we going to talk about a gluten-free diet, but we're also going to make some of his signature gluten-free recipes. Vernon, what's our first dish today?
Well, Steve, today we're going to make a quinoa mango salad.
That sounds awesome. So what's our first step to making this dish?
First thing you want to do is cook the quinoa. We're going to take some dry quinoa, about 1 cup, and we're going to dump it into 2 cups of hot water.
You know, I really love quinoa. I'll tell you, I know that like in tabbouleh, the germ on the grain actually has more of a nicer feel in your mouth than that tabbouleh does. So that's one really good thing. And what is quinoa?
Quinoa is an ancient grain from South America, grown primarily in Bolivia. It is totally unrelated to New World grains or Old World grains, so it does not affect people with celiac disease. It does not contain the same kind of protein found in the gluten.
You know, and this is, like I said, it's a very old grain, isn't it?
Yes, this grain was actually farmed by the Incas, so it goes back thousands of years.
Yeah, and it's good. So, and you have some here that's already cooked, correct?
Yes, I have 2 cups. It's just like when you're cooking rice. For every cup of uncooked, you wind up with 2 cups of cooked.
Okay.
So we're going to start with 2 cups of the cooked quinoa. This has been chilled. We're going to add to that some chopped green onion.
Okay.
Some diced peeled mangoes.
Now, if you were, say, and you didn't feel like messing with the mango, because I know mangoes are very tough to deal with sometimes, could you use the frozen kind?
You could use the frozen, just thaw it first, and then re-dice it because the frozen usually is a larger piece.
Yeah, sometimes with the frozen fruit, what happens is that, you know, when it freezes, that breaks that shell structure down just a little bit, and when you thaw it out, all the water starts to come out of it a little bit.
The frozen fruit also may be a bit sweeter. When you pick out the fresh, you're going to get variations in texture and taste, and I prefer the fresh.
Yeah, and actually the next item that you're putting in here adds a really nice sweetness to this thing, doesn't it?
Yes, the dried cranberries, they add sweetness, but at the same time a little bit of tart and a great color. We've got a great contrast going on with all these colors.
That is a beautiful color right there so far. And then our last item that goes in this salad is?
This is some diced parsley.
Okay.
Again, we want to use fresh just for the flavor and for the bright green color.
Okay. And what do? You just kind of mix that up?
Yeah, you just mix it very thoroughly. It's simple. Stir it all together. And you can see all those great colors starting to come through.
That's beautiful. Now, we mentioned earlier that you work the Nature's Market area in Kroger. What is Nature's Market?
Well, the Nature's Market is the area in the store for anything that is all natural, meaning it does not have artificial flavors, artificial colors, preservatives. A lot of people confuse it with organics. Organics just has to do with pesticide use and whether or not it's genetically modified. So when you go into the Nature's Market at Kroger, you can trust that everything in there is natural and you don't have to worry about any hidden ingredients.
I tell you, that Nature's Market, to me, is a hidden gem inside of our Krogers. It's just one of those added value things that not a lot of our competitors have.
No.
Nor, sometimes you can't even go to a freestanding place and have all the options that we have sometimes.
No,
here.
we have got hundreds of items that are all natural, and the demand is growing. And so you'll find in our stores, we have recently expanded Nature's Markets throughout the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah. So, getting back to our quinoa and mango salad here, what do we have to do next to this?
Well, once it is thoroughly mixed, we're going to go ahead and put together our dressing. Now for the dressing, I've got some white wine vinegar, olive oil, some salt, And cracked pepper.
Now, if you didn't want all that salt, you could actually put a little bit less in there, can't you?
You could. You can also use sea salt because sea salt, of course, is lower in sodium.
Correct.
It has some added potassium, and it tastes saltier, so that is always a good option. Now,
You're
once
just going to mix that up there?
just whisk it together real lightly, just to get everything blended.
Now, I would say that probably another kind of oil would be able to, you could use another kind of oil or another kind of vinegar if you wanted to. Just give it a different kind of flavor, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could change it up. Olive oil does work best, but you could use a balsamic vinaigrette or balsamic vinegar, and then we just pour it right over the salad.
I'll just pour it in there, and you can give it a good stir. There you go.
Now again, we just stir it thoroughly, and then we're going to put this in the fridge and let it chill.
Just for what? Just maybe an hour or two?
Hour at the least, and then we serve.
Now, you've got an awesome way to serve this in. Real big martini glass. I like that.
Yes.
Kind of like a cold appetizer. You can just pull this right out of the fridge. You've already got it heaped up there and put it in there. You know, one thing that that's really neat about this is that I have some people when we have dinner parties at my house or whatever, and they have special needs or special diets. And when you have those kind of people, it kind of throws up your plan just a little bit. But then if you know how you can go to things like this, makes it so much easier for you, and you can make them feel more comfortable that they can eat.
Yes, and the good thing about this recipe is it is 100% naturally gluten-free. We didn't change any ingredients to make this gluten-free. So this is a healthy option for everyone. You're going to get the great proteins from the quinoa. You're going to get added fiber from the fruit and from the quinoa. And it looks wonderful.
Yes, it does.
This also, as you said, it's a great cold appetizer. You can use it to stuff peppers, tomatoes. You could even roast it in a pepper, and you'd have a great, great appetizer.
Let's pile some of this stuff up in here. Boy, it smells good too, doesn't it? Get those onions, and I can smell the mango.
You'll notice that I slice the onions a little large. It gives that great flavor. If you cut them too small, you're going to lose some of that flavor.
I could actually see us putting maybe some garlic or coriander or cilantro in here too, and giving a nice, neat flavor too. Look at that, isn't that beautiful?
That is
Looks
great.
awesome. We're going to take a break, but coming up, we're making authentic, gluten-free Swedish meatball burgers. Stick around.